Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back. I'm actually having a UU match, and I actually like UU. I've been playing UU for a while, and it's actually pretty dang interesting. I like this team I put together. Cradley, he is my stealth rocker. I have a Crocodile. I always wanted to use Crocodile. I like Crocodile. And my favorite UU Pokemon, which is Arcanine, and I got a Raikou. This is actually one of the first times I'm not using sticky webs in a UU match, because I wanted to try without sticky webs, because I always use sticky webs. So we're going to go ahead and get right into the battle. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Beedrill. I figure I can do something against this team, as he leads off with his Darmanitan. This isn't a great lead, but I'm just going to go ahead and protect because I want to see what move he decides to lock himself into. But he actually switches out into his Aggron, which is not really good. I know when Aggron comes in like this, he's most likely going to set up Stealth Rocks, and Stealth Rocks is a huge problem for my Beedrill. That's residual damage, but he's not something that stays in and gets damage. He's something to go ahead and do as much damage as possible and attack as much as it can. So I'm going to just go ahead and go for a U-turn, get some chip damages. That does a decent amount for being not very effective, and this thing being a defensive monster. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Arcanine, as I can intimidate this thing. I know this thing is probably going to set up Stealth Rocks, as I want to really get a Will-O-Wisp on this thing, just for the residual damage. As now he's going to go ahead and set up his Stealth Rocks. I do have my Starmie, which is a really good spinner. It's really fast. Say something. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp, but he's going to guess that nicely and go into his Espeon, which is not really a problem, as the Will-O-Wisp does bounce back, but I am a fire type, so it doesn't affect me. So I actually wanted to do a pivot. I know I'm not going to need my Stealth Rocks too much in this game, so I'm going to go ahead go into my Cradley, see what this thing wants to do. Because I thought this thing was special defensive, but I forgot this one Cradley is defensive, so it does not take this Psychic any bit well. And I know this thing is just going to go for another Psychic. He probably forgot my team. I was hoping he forgot my team, as if he did forget my team, I can switch out into my Crocodile, as he would go for a Psychic and it would do nothing. And I do have a Choice Scarf on this thing, and getting a Choice Scarf knockoff on anything would be great. I would go for Pursuit, but I'm not really worried about this thing. As he does go for Psychic, he forgets my team. I need to start taking pictures of teams again. I keep forgetting to take pictures of teams, but I'm actually going to go for a knockoff. I figure getting a knockoff on anything would be great. And I get it off on this freaking Hydreigon. Hydreigon is such a huge threat to my team. It's great that I can go ahead and get rid of its Choice Scarf. As getting rid of the Choice Scarf is less of a threat. As I figure I could just go ahead and sack off my Cradley to any move it wants to do. If it goes for Draco Meteor, that would be great. But it does go for U-turn. I don't really mind that. As I do survive, it's still kind of a sack. I can get some switch initiative on anybody. And if he does misplay, I can get a recover off. Make this thing a little bit more survivable. As he does go out into his Espeon, which is great. I have so many Pokemon that can outspeed Espeon. And I have my Mega Evolved Beedrill, as he does go for Dazzling Gleam, and Dazzling Gleam is going to knock me off. He probably was predicting my Crocodile, and either way, a Dazzling Gleam could knock out my Cradley. So now I can just go into my Beedrill, and I went into my Beedrill because I know he's going to switch out, predicting a U-turn, go into his Aggron, and I can go into my Starmie and get off a Rapid Spin if I wanted to. So I'm gonna go for the U-turn now. And that's gonna do. It's gonna do a decent chunk. Like I said, it's doing decent chunks to this thing, even though it's resisted, and this thing is a defensive monster. So now I'm gonna go out into my Starmie, and I wanted to go for a Rapid Spin, but I know this thing could just keep setting up rocks, and I really don't want this. And if he just somehow gets lucky and these rocks are on my field, I don't want Starmie to die and have this thing on the other side of the field. So I'm just gonna go straight for a Hydro Pump, just to do as much damage as I can, as he does switch into his Tentacruel. He switches into his own spinner, and Tentacruel is a monster. These things are very special defensive. Kira, I can hear you. If you hear anybody, that's just my friend's little sister just sitting right beside me. Do not poke me, little girl. As I'm just going to go for a Psyshock, and that's going to destroy this thing's life. I don't have to deal with this Tentacruel. I have Tentacruels of my own. I think I should bring back my Tentacruel. I used to love running Tentacruel in X and Y. As he goes out into his Hydreigon, I thought that an Ice Beam could kill this thing, as it just barely doesn't kill. That's the cost of running Expert Belt over Life Orb. As he does kill my Starmie, I'm not able to get a spin off, which is very unfortunate. I probably should have went for the spin. But I can go out into my Crocodile, and I can knock off this thing, and I know knockoff can kill. And nobody on his team wants to take a knockoff. It'll be very inconvenient to get their item knocked off. And if he switches out, that won't be very good, because this thing has no Choice Scarf. It's already really, really low. And I do get the Moxie, so that's good. Now he's going to go out into his Espeon. I really don't agree with this play. I don't know what he was thinking. He'll probably thinking I was Choice Bandit or something. I'm not sure. But he sacks off his Espeon, and I just get more of a boost. So I do get the Moxie. And now he's going to go out into his freaking, his Lopunny. His Lopunny, he could have just switched out in the Lopunny, saved this Espeon. He probably would have had a better chance. I don't agree with that play, but he does Mega Evolve with Lopunny. I figure it's best to stay in, sack off, because my Crocodile can just come in and go for Earthquakes, but I'm not sure if it'll kill, and I don't want anybody taking damage from this monster right here, because Lopunny is a monster. I'm just going to go for a knockoff just to get as much damage as I can against this thing. And he's going to go for a high jump kick. It doesn't miss. And that, of course, that can kill a Crocodile. So my Crocodile does go down. He did do a good job taking out that Espeon. As now I can go out into my Arcanine, getting Intimidate off on this thing. And actually, I figured it'd be best to go for a Will-O-Wisp. I kind of forgot his team because I didn't take a picture of the team. So I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. But he actually goes out into his Darmanitan. Like halfway through, when I press the Will-O-Wisp, I'm like, oh my god, he has a Darmanitan. I hope he doesn't predict. So now I'm forced to sack again. I have to let my Arcanine go. Unfortunately, the rocks are on the field. I can't keep switching him in and out. And I just wanted to see what type of move he was going to go for. If he would have went for Earthquake, I would have been in so much trouble. As he does go for Rock Slide. So now I can just go into my Raikou. I know my Raikou can survive a Rock Slide. As I do take some, I do take damage from rocks. And my Raikou is Choice Specs. I know this thing could kill anything that's trying to go in. As I figure out this thing is Choice Bandit, actually. So he was going for Rock Slide, thinking I would switch out into my, probably thinking I would switch out into my Beedrill, because Beedrill can knock it out with the Drill Run. As now he goes out into his Aggron. I know Aggron cannot take a Specs Thunderbolt from a Raikou, especially, since this thing is so defensive and not special defensive. And now all that's left is his Mega Lopunny. I was hoping that either his high jump kick missed or my Raikou could somehow survive, but I know this thing couldn't survive. Look how much damage he took from just a fake out. This thing is a monster. As he doesn't miss the high jump kick, he destroys my Raikou. As all that's left is my Beedrill. I wanted to go for Protect just because I was thinking it'd probably go for Return or something. I probably should have went for yeah, I probably should have went for Protect. But I barely survived that and go for Poison Jab, and you're probably wondering, like, how come this Lopunny outspeeds my Beedrill? Well, my Beedrill is adamant. I like running adamant Beedrill because not much really outspeeds it. Anyway, but that's a good match, Victor. And it was a very close match. I just won by 3%. I do like Yu a lot. I'm going to be uploading a lot more because I'm over my friend's house and I'm not really doing much over here, but I'm battling a lot of people, so I'm going to upload a lot more battles. If you want to challenge me to a Yu or Uber's match, hit me up on Skype, and I'd be glad to battle you, post it online and all that. And thanks for watching.